All right, I'm gonna set a timer for 5 minutes so that you can go through and tell us everything that you wanna tell us about your robot and your team. And then after the 5 minutes, then we'll ask you questions, okay? All right, I'm gonna start it. You can start.
So my name is Madison Wallace. I am the president of our team 8341, the Rams. I'm also the lead journalist.
My name is Wade Cochran. I am vice president and I'm also safety of the team.
And my name is Ashton. I am the creative thinker and the secretary of the team.
Hi, my name is Cameron Tower, and I am the assistant journalist for the team.
Good morning, my name is Nicholas Perez, and I'm the lead designer of the team.
Hi, my name is Cody. I'm the lead programmer.
My name is Michael Barnett, and I'm the lead builder.
Hi, my name is Daniel and I'm the system builder.
My name is Alex Stokes. I'm a builder.
My name is Dion Atkins. I'm a designer.
All right, so when I was trying out, I put on my application that I was not a team player, but throughout the season I have grown to be a team player. And also, one thing I'm proud of is the team. Some of them have taken time out of their day to come down to the classroom and help on the robot or the coding. And if you want to hear more about the coding, talk to Cody Burns.
Or check section 8 in our engineering notebook.
So a major highlight for me this year was that we took a meet, we sat down and we came up with a design that we could get maximum points with the parts that we already had in the house.
My highlight of the season was using a dozer that we used for our groundbreaking before the season started and put a gripper on it to grab the foundation and to move it into the zone.
But you can also
Because without the grip, it just started slipping like ice on butter. Like it would slip off and then it wouldn't go into the zone.
which you can check in our engineering design section, which is section 6 through 8, I believe. And also there were some pictures on. Wait, do you know?
Yes, the pictures are, this is with it without the gripper. Like Ashley said, it would just slip off. And once you added this, and now it's good.
One of my favorite section highlights is helping out our FLL team at our school, which is also in our community outreach section, also over there. If Nicholas, do you know where it is on the board over there?
Top right.
My season highlights when I heard I had the opportunity to make a website, and I put all my effort into it.
My season highlight, excuse my voice. My season highlight was coding the autonomous program, which also turned out to be one of my hardest challenges. It was hard, but when it actually worked, which our program actually, with the dozer, with what Ashton was talking about, it grabs it, pulls the foundation into the building zone, and then it turns and parks underneath our line of bridge, which that program was very hard to make, but it actually was like the best thing when it actually works and did what it was supposed to.
My season highlight was whenever we were at a scrimmage and the spacer on our 3D printed arm, we had a swivel on our claw and the gears wouldn't touch, so we ended up taping the gears with electrical tape.
My season highlight was getting our robot wheels to work by putting surgical tubing on them and welding them on. Because when we didn't have them on it, the robot would curve and then it would mess up the autonomous program, and it would slip across the dozer claw would slip across the foundation and come off. It would curve and hit the side of the underbridge. So we got that on, and it the surgical tubing has more grip, which slowed it down from curving more, but it did fix the autonomous program. We did have someone sew it, and you can ask Wade about that.
My season highlight was when our team sat down and wrote a spider web on the whiteboard to figure out what type of claw and other things we needed on the robot that would give us an advantage on the field. You can see that in section 6.
Which is right here on the board too.
Thank you.
My favorite season highlight was when we raised $200 for our team by working at News, which was a part of community outreach.
We also had a team member we didn't mention. Her name is Ashlyn Bowler. She's up on the top right working with FLL. She couldn't be here today due to soccer.
And to wrap all this up, I want to say a reason that I'm so proud of every one of these members. Wade, he's big on safety. Ashton, he's tiny, quiet, and Wade, full of big ideas. Cameron's a big help on the engineering notebook. Nicholas, he is great at making websites. Cody is a big help with the programs. Michael is ready to drive the robot whenever he can. Aiden, I had so much fun teaching him how to drive it when we had 2 controls. Alec brings some fun to the team, and I had fun teaching him how to drive it. And Dion is our other quiet grenade.
That kind of concludes our presentation. Any questions?
Yes, can somebody tell me about this thing right here?
That's the dozer.
The
That's
dozer.
Ashton's on.
This is the Dozer Designer Foundation.
We actually, this was used during the groundbreaking of the new Academy of Innovation. This is right here. We're using that to swing up dirt. And Ashley thought it'd be a good idea if we could reuse that dirt.
Okay, so you use that and then you use some kind of like rubber,
Like shelf, shelf.
It's a
lining,
shelf grip.
like
lining,
shelf lining?
I believe so.
Okay.
Because it has good grip. And we also use shelf lining.
for good
We also
grip.
use it up here.
And then can you tell me where the surgical tubing is?
Surgical tubing can be found on the sensor tires in this section to keep the chain on the spokes that operates the arm.
So this tubing is, basically what they use to get blood. It's tubing that's used to transfer blood. And Aiden was messing around with it, noticed it had nice grip on his hand. So he said, let's try this out.
Without it, the wheels would, on the right wheel, it would slip, the hub was kind of tight and loose at the same time, and it would slip on the chain, and then the wheel would slip off and curve to the left when we tried our autonomous. But when we put the surgical tubing on there, instead of it going straight left, it would go forward, and then because of all the grip on the build zone from the dozer claw and the surgical tubing, it would get our autonomous program working.
Might I add something real quick about with the wheels, with the program that we were doing, like I said, the autonomous program. We actually had a problem with our wheels, like you said, where they were drifting to the left. And we had the tubing on, but it kind of started to drift to the left again. So Wade, would you like to talk about that problem and how you fixed it?
Actually, look, it's on the side. So we have the hub that was connected the sprocket to the axle coming off the motor. So we had 2 motor mounts on here. The robot used to be a little bit wider, but it shortened down so we could fit in the box. So it'd be coupled with the box, But we never thought of taking this motor mount off. We just left it on. We pushed the motor in, and these motors, the axle was not in the center. It's on the off to the side. And when that was coming around, it was rubbing. It was making friction. It's in the picture gallery, section 2, the notebook. It was rubbing real bad. It was just causing it to. So once I took that off, it was going straight. And Cody actually had to go back and change the numbers of the program because it's working so well.
If you want to see more about the program that we've already mentioned, you can see on page 8 of the section of the engineering notebook, or section 8.
So you're using that program, or you're not using Java then?
We use blocks.
It's just a little bit quicker.
You're using what? Blocks?
Blocks.
It's
Blocks.
Java blocks.
Blocks.
It's just more quicker for
You can
Oh.
you can use the blocks, but it also shows like the Java version of it to the right of the screen.
And I have 2 questions. One is, where did you get the idea for the surgical tubing?
That was 8 here.
all Aiden.
We have some.
That was 8 and out.
We had something we were using it on, and lots of them were cut through the bottom, and you were able to peel them open and then surround it. And Mr. Bates and we were trying to figure out why it was, the wheel was slipping and going left. So I got a extra wheel out of our toolbox, and I just started putting surgical tubing on it. And we tried that one out, and it fixed the friction, and it gave it more grip, and it helped the autonomous go down more.
And to get the tubing to stay on tire, we had a sewer come in. she's actually my homegrown. She is Minnesota, so she is 6, she is now 14. And she set that on, and then we glued the metal tube on the tire, so we're not concerned about that at all.
So, well, why surgical tubing? I mean, where did that come from?
It was, in our groundbreaking.
This is right here.
Huh?
Oh, you can't really see the robot well in this picture.
But in the back, we had surgical tubing tied to the axle, so whenever it would spin, it would sling up the dirt, and we had a whole bunch of it left over.
Okay.
So
And-
we were using
Okay.
Our first trip to Arctic, we had tons of it, and other people on the FTC team were using it on their robots and making different types of robots using it.
Okay, so you got the idea from, other teams then. And, do you guys go out and, mentor you guys do go out and mentor the FLL?
Yes, ma'am. We have,
We've had 2 built days.
yes, one with our team, like our FLL team at,
The schools.
yeah, at our school, and then we have our coach, Mr.
We have some
Dave's
pictures.
team that, we went to also help.
This is some of our FTC members helping out with the FLL to build their field,
Get their
components.
field ready.
And, so NASA and, US Army Corps of Engineering are 2 of the major companies that, mentor you
Some of our
guys?
sponsors.
Those are our
Sponsor you?
sponsors.
All
Do
our
they-
sponsors are.
These are all our
okay.
sponsors.
Do they mentor you also? Is there anybody,
Um,
any major scientific corporation that comes and
Arctic
mentors you?
definitely.
Or,
Yeah.
and you can also see that in our coach and mentor bios, which is, in our bios, which is
That's
section
section
2,
1.
or 1, my bad.
We've made a lot of people doing community outreach, like doing Moose Night, which is a fundraiser.
Which
We-
we are actually going to have 2 news nights next week.
Next week to raise some more money so we can buy more parts or whatever we need. We actually met a
Bicycle and
naval
expert.
engineer.
That was one of our coach's friend. His name was Leo Turnipseed, and he brought one of his bikes in and showed us like what we could use the chains for. And Mr. Bates and Michael and Wade were able to get the chains on there, and they were able to get them connected to the other wheels, and they worked better than the gears. So we just kept them on there.
So you've got chains on here too?
Bicycle
So-
Alright, thanks. So you guys use bicycle chains,
And
okay?
you will find them located on the center wheels and on the sprockets for the arm.
We started with gears, but the gears just kept slipping and grinding away. So we had Mr. Leo Turnipseed come in and he showed us, and then we switched over to the chain that day, and it's just been way more reliable.
So you're not using the sprockets, you're using, say that again, I'm sorry.
So we started with gears,
Uh-huh.
but they kept grinding down and
Slipping.
slipping, and gears get expensive after we burn up so many of them. So we had Mr. Leo Turnipseed come in, and he just talked about chain and what's done